Hey everybody, Sarah here. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's video. We have been going through a series on faith, and this is our 7th week in this series. We have laid the foundation for faith. We've talked about many people in the Old Testament: Abraham, Noah, Elijah, David, so many people, and I hope that it has been an encouragement to you. If you haven't already, make sure that you are subscribed so that you never miss another video just like this one every single Wednesday, and make sure that you're following me on Instagram. We have a ministry page on Instagram as well as my personal page, so feel free to follow both of those pages to be encouraged throughout the week, to keep up with me and what's going on with the ministry. So this week we're going to head over to the New Testament as we talk about living by faith, and we are going to look at Matthew 8, and we are going to look at the faith of the centurion. This story can also be found in Luke 7, but we're going to just hang out in Matthew 8 for today. So Jesus had just entered into Capernaum. The centurion, which was a Roman officer who was in charge of 100 soldiers, one of his servants was deathly ill, and he came to Jesus for healing for his servant. So the first point that I want to make real early in this video: for people who walk by faith, trust in who God has revealed himself to be. God had revealed himself to be a healer at this point in his ministry. So this man had faith in God to know that he was a healer. And for us, we have no excuse to not trust God as our healer, as our provider, as our protector. Like, we have no excuse. We have seen him too much in this word. We have seen him in our own lives and in the lives of the people around us. So we have no real excuse to not trust God in the way that he's revealed himself to be. So God tells the centurion that he will come and heal his servant. And in verse number 8, the centurion says, "Lord, I am not worthy to have you come under my roof, but only say the word and my servant will be healed." So not only did the centurion have faith that God could heal his servant, but he had so much faith knowing in the power of God to know that God could heal his servant from afar simply by the power of his word. Verse 10 says, "When Jesus heard this, he marveled and said to those who followed him, 'Truly I tell you, with no one in Israel have I found such faith.'" Because remember, this was a Roman officer. He wasn't even a Jew. The people in Israel didn't even have this kind of faith in God. Verse 13 says, and to the centurion, Jesus said, "Go, let it be done for you as you have believed." And the servant was healed at that very moment. As many other stories and instances in the Bible, it was the man's faith that brought about healing, because it says, "as you have believed." Because the thing is, God responds to faith. Hebrews 11:6 says that it's impossible to please God without faith. So that means if we have faith, then that means that it pleases him. And a question that I want to bring about for this video: could your faith bring about healing for somebody else? Could your faith bring about salvation for somebody else? Because you walking by faith doesn't just affect you, it can have an effect on the people around you. Because so many times, especially as single people, we tend to feel like God can't use us because we're not married. And that's a lie from the very pits of hell. You can even be more so used by God because you are single. You have the freedom that a lot of married people don't have. So the thing is, I want God to be marveled at my faith. I want him to smile because of my faith. And the thing that I love about this story and this man, he had faith to know that God could heal simply by the power of his word. Do we still believe that there's power in the word of God? The written word of God. Do we believe that the word is alive and active and sharper than any two-edged sword? So if the word of God is alive and it's active, then it still has power when I speak it. What are we saying when we are hit with tests and trials like I talked about last week? Are you speaking the word of God over yourself? Let me tell you, speaking the word of God, it stirs your faith, because again, it's alive and it's active. I don't know about y'all, but I want God to marvel at my faith. I want my faith to cause God to smile. And this is challenging me to, for lack of better words or phrases, to level up my faith, to have more faith in God and the one who saved my soul. Like, if we have faith enough for God to save us from eternal damnation, why do we not think that he has the power and the ability to walk with us now, that he somehow loved us enough to die for us, but he doesn't love us enough to care for us as we're living down here? Prayerfully, this video will encourage you guys as you walk by faith Trust in who God has revealed himself to be. Trust that there is power in the word of God. And remember that faith pleases God. So level up your faith. So tell me in the comment sections down below, in what area of your life can you level up your faith? Is it with your finances? Are you having, some health issues that you just have stopped believing God to be a healer? Have you stopped believing God to be a provider? Like, how can you level up your faith? So make sure that you like this video, you share it with someone who will be blessed by it. Make sure that you're subscribed so that you never miss another video just like this one. Until next week's video, grace and peace.